Jimmy Lewis.
I'm Trevor Hunter.
And we're with Dirt Bike Test, and today we're riding Honda's 2023 CRF450R. And if you can't tell, this is their 50th anniversary edition. If we have to tell you how this bike looks, I'm probably gonna have to slap you around because I made my XR80 back in the day to these exact colors because I thought it was cool. So Trevor, we're out at Cahuilla today doing some laps. What did you think of the bike?
I thought overall, by the end of the day, I was pretty happy with the bike. They made some changes, which on paper might not sound like a lot, but it did work out on the track.
And for me, I have always liked, especially this generation bike. I actually like the 2021, which some people were a little problematic with. And it seems like they've done a lot of little improvements, and I didn't even look at the spec sheet before I rode it. I just hopped on it, rode it. I came back and said, so you put a stiffer front fork spring in it, or something stiffened up the front end, which they did some work in the front end, but it's not with the fork spring. They've actually stiffened up the spring in the rear. But the way that they've worked with the chassis and stuff, they seem like they've probably got a balance that a lot of riders would like more. I would say a little more consistent. Coming from an off-road background, I'm not too bothered by a fork that moves a lot in the stroke, and this one seems like it moves a lot less. And what I played around with was to try to get, I actually wanted to get rid of some of the slap down feeling away that, you know, sometimes when you're landing and the front end comes down, like if you over jump something and you put it down or you come up short, and it's a Showa characteristic, and it's still kind of there. That's why I run flex bars on a lot of my personal bikes, by the way. But the front end on this thing, we were clicking around, and we actually, by softening it just a little bit and then adding a little high speed to the shock, all of a sudden the bike started turning even better. And it was something I probably wouldn't have even tried to get there because I thought it was turning good. And by doing those clicks, it got even better. So I'm sure there's still some tuning that we can do with the chassis. But onto the motor, they have done a little bit of work in the intake track with the cam, and the throttle body's a little bit smaller to get a little bit better torque, especially on the bottom end, and I'm pretty sure that they've done that. Hondas have not been known for having a lot of torque. They have always have really good horsepower. And I think that it just gives this bike the ability to ride a gear high. I played around a lot with the maps, which not a big fan of the operation of the map switch, but I am a fan of the maps that were in there.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, even I kind of liked running the aggressive map with a little bit of traction control thrown in.
Yeah, that's pretty similar. I like the aggressive map as long as I don't override the bike. If I learn to like ride a gear taller and just be smooth on the throttle, that third aggressive map has a lot of power and enough to like pull you through and ride that gear tall. Whereas the map one, you kind of had to ride it a little more aggressive, I felt like.
Yeah, I think, you know, like I said, if you like Honda motors, you'll love this one. It's just gotten that much better. If you're coming from some of the other bikes, it's going to be like it's probably the biggest change these days is just the motors kind of seem to be developing their own kind of power characteristic, and everybody knows where everybody else is strong and everybody's kind of weaseling that stuff in. But this is sort of just a one-day riding impression. The track never got super rough, and it was a little inconsistent on traction, but I'm liking the new tires more than the old tires, that's for sure. And this is going back to the 21 because I did skip 2022. I'm happy with, like I said, I feel like I could hop on this bike and go race it, and that's something I said about the first one. I think this one just is a more all-around setting that a lot of people would like.
Yeah, this one definitely felt a little more comfortable right away than that 21, and something I could get used to a lot quicker, and I even felt pretty comfortable by the end of today.
So that's what we have. If you want to know a little bit more, ask some questions, reach out, and we'll see if get a riding impression here real soon, and we'll see if we get to the point where we do a full test on the bike.